question that potentially defined my career and my life was, how can we find sustainable sources of energy? My mind obviously rushed to the obvious solutions like solar and wind. But then the next question came to my mind is, how sustainable are the renewable forms of energy? And can they sustain our world? Watch this video to find out what I found out about the sustainability of renewable sources of energy.
One of the main problems with conventional sources of energy, like coal, is that these resources are finite. They don't renew themselves. Hence, consuming them, say consuming coal for generating electricity, leads to its own depletion. And over time, eventually, they are going to get exhausted. Hence, to find sustainable sources of energy, there's a need to move towards renewable sources of energy like solar and wind. As we start constructing and developing these renewable capacities, we get operating power plants like solar photovoltaic power plants and wind turbines coming on board. As these power plants are operated over years, their lifetime starts to reduce because they do have a fixed lifetime on how long they can survive. Like the solar panels can last up to 25 to 30 years. With technology advancements, of course, the overall lifetimes are also increasing. Now, in a solar power plant, you can change the basic elements like the solar panels, photovoltaics, do some repairs and maintenance, and you can pretty much replace the existing capacities and continue to sustain and grow the operating capacities of renewable sources of energy. And that's why they are truly sustainable, because the source of energy, which is sunlight and wind, is renewable for all practical purposes. Hence, there are no specific resource-based constraints that limits the ability to generate power from these renewable sources. However, there are other constraints that we must be aware of. As we replace or develop new capacities, it leads to a consumption of rare earth elements, strategic minerals. As we consume these rare earths, the stock of this finite resource starts depleting. And as these stocks start depleting, fewer are available for replacement and construction of renewable energy. Hence, while the source, that is sun and wind, is practically renewable and unlimited, the means that we use to convert this source into usable forms of energy like electricity generation is finite. Hence, the renewable sources of energy also have a similar constraint as that of a non-renewable energy, which means that to produce renewable sources of energy, we still have to rely on non-renewable sources of materials. Hence, we need to realign our aspirations on what we wish to achieve by developing these renewable sources of energy. If we wish to achieve or perpetuate our dream of having growth or infinite growth, then perhaps we are mistaken. Hence, they must be used for sustainability rather than chasing the dream of sustaining growth. Thank you very much.